watching the 2025 SCAC Baseball Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the University of St. Thomas baseball program. The Celts will once again be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Torry Peterson, along with leadership from senior Landon Murray. Coach Landon, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, we'll open up with you heading into your second season as the manager of this baseball program there down in Houston. I'm interested in what you learned over the course of that first full season as the manager of this team, and ultimately, how excited are you to get into this second season, taking what you've learned and get started with this group heading into 2025?
Yeah, coming into my first year as a head coach, I know this conference was going to be a dog fight from top to bottom. But I don't really think you can relay that message to your guys until you actually get into the grind of it. And so that was, like I said, I knew going forward that it was going to be a little bit of a grind. But when you come out the first weekend and have a sweep, and we're on a high, and then you get punched in the mouth. But that's what this conference is about. Like we relay to our guys, no weekends and off weekend. Like every weekend you should be playing, like you're trying to win the conference that weekend. So just not settling, regardless of what happens that weekend. Coming out like you're trying to prove something every weekend, I think has been the biggest thing. Not necessarily a learning curve for me, because I knew it was going to be like that, but it's more real now that I was in it for my first year. And then going forward, man, like I'm super excited about this group. It's a bunch of new faces, but a good blend of returners. So super excited about this year and ready to get after it.
Landon, coming into your senior season, I know this is a special year for you. Take me through your mindset coming into this 2025 year. What are the vibes like of the guys in preseason as it started to unfold? And what are you just looking forward to most from a team perspective heading into your senior season?
From a team standpoint, the vibes are the highest they've ever been. We got a lot of new faces, and these new faces bring good vibes to the team. Everyone's super excited to attack this conference, especially with the new teams in it. And I think this team's going to be a night and day difference from last year.
Coach, sounds like this team is a nice blend of kind of a returning core and some new faces, as you and Landon both talked about. What have you learned about this team, this 2025 version of Celts baseball that you're excited about? Tell the fans, tell the supporters of this program, what are some things that they can come to know and grow and love about this team that you've recognized early on in preseason as you've gotten things underway?
Well, and the biggest thing to me is, they love to have fun. Like it's been an absolute joy to be around the group. From the fall and opening up spring camp here. Their mindset is still getting after it every day, and they're very serious and thorough on what we do in practice. But they're having fun at the same time. And I think, the way to bring out the best player in yourself is to stay loose and have fun and enjoy what you're doing. But then, the detail of the X's and O's and really honing in on what we're trying to preach as a program. It's still there, but yet they're having a good time, which, players play a lot more loose when they're like that. So that's the biggest thing. And sitting back as a coach and seeing that, it brings a smile to my face.
Landon, on the mound, you've been absolutely sensational throughout your career, incredibly consistent within that starting rotation, really since day one, a three-time All-SCAC performer, coming off an outstanding year last year in which you had career best in terms of games started, innings pitched, fewest hits allowed, lowest ERA, lowest WHIP. You have a chance going into this year to reach the 200 innings plateau there, over 250 strikeouts, and the chance for over 50 career starts. What did a season like last year do for you in terms of your confidence? And just tell me, what is it like, that mindset on the day of a start for you when the ball's in your hands and you're taking the mound to lead this team out there on the field?
A start day for me is always super exciting. I feel like I thrive kind of in adversity and with nerves. And, getting those nerves before the game, there's no feeling that's better than that. But, I'm the guy that I'm always going to go out there. I'm going to give you my best, and I'm going to see if you can hit it. But, I'm super excited for this year, and I'm planning on repeating how I did last year.
Coach, you talk about that core group of returning athletes to this lineup. When you look at it, 6 All-SCAC guys from a season ago are back this year. Alex Tran Walker, Holzelhouse and Cameron Craig, Dylan McKee, Landon Murray, of course, the guy next to you, and Jared Smith. When you look at the lineup, 5 of 8 guys from last year that 100 plus at bats and 20 or more hits are back. In that staff, 4 of 6 guys that had 19 or more innings pitched from your team are back again this season. But tell us a little about some of these new faces. Who do you expect to maybe either fill into bigger roles that have been a part of this program, or maybe some of the new guys, new faces within this team that you expect to make an impact going into the year?
Yeah, one, I wouldn't say he's a new face, but he had a hamate injury last year, so he didn't get to play a ton. But Dylan Lamb, I mean, he was actually on a region team of the week, but he was, our starting center fielder the 2 years prior. So he's not a new face; he's a returning one. But guys didn't see him last year because he was hurt. But having him back in the lineup and healthy is going to be huge for us. But a couple new guys, Taylor Mills, he's a junior college transfer outfielder, swings it from the left side. He brings, he brings college baseball innings that he's already played into our program, and that's huge. He knows what it's like. He knows what to expect. And then I think another one that is going to be huge for us. We lost Mason C last year, who was our number 1 catcher. We have a freshman catcher this year, Ryan Radicek, who's a freshman from Tompkins, and he's come in and he acts like a senior. The way he walks around and talks and handles his business, I think is going to be a huge piece to our program. And then the third one I think is so Cameron Craig's little brother Brian. He's a freshman with us this year. And he is, man, it's going to be watching pitch. He's got some really, really good stuff. And so, those are kind of 3 pieces that come to mind. Dylan's an anchor for us in the middle of the lineup. Alex is, an amazing kid. And he's there at the top and gets us going. So, the guys that we lost last year, I think the pieces that we've brought in, which are key positions, catcher is one of the biggest spots on the field besides the mound, and so the pieces that we brought in, whether freshmen or transfer, they're going to be huge for us. But those are 3 guys that just come to mind right off the bat.
Finally, Landon, as we wrap up with you, when you've had conversations in your clubhouse with some of the other leaders and some of your teammates within this group about some of the goals and expectations, what have those conversations looked like? This is a program that's continued to grow. As you know, you've been to the SCAC tournament in your career. What have those conversations as far as this year looked like, and ultimately what's going to be key in order to accomplish those things heading into the year?
I mean, obviously, top of our priority is, conference tournament. But I think the biggest thing that we've talked about is probably relying on one another. Like relying on our bullpen, relying on our guys that come off the bench, pinch hits, those are going to be the keys to winning games, is being able to rely on one another.
And finally, Coach, as we wrap up with you, what's been the message this preseason as you've sort of, laid that foundation for this year and started to get these guys prepared both mentally and physically? What have you been and your staff kind of tried to hit home in order to make sure this group is ready to go as best as possibly they can when the season gets started and running?
Yeah, I think the 2 biggest things, like I talked about earlier, was just bringing it every day. The attitude, the effort. Being a college baseball player, it's a grind, man. It gets tough. So finding it in your gut, regardless of how you're feeling that day or what the weather's like. Just bringing it and trying to accomplish something. And then the next thing is it's kind of cliche, but just pulling on the same end of the rope. Like I feel like this year, our vibes and our chemistry is off the charts. And honestly, like I feel like we could roll out a lineup 2 deep in every position and still be super competitive. So just, maybe having those 2 guys, if they're not playing, still rooting for the guy that's starting and vice versa. So pulling on the same end of the rope, fighting for each other, because it's, our conference, like I said, it's a grind and it's tough. So you have to be there to support one another.
University of St. Thomas head baseball coach Torry Peterson, along with leadership from senior Landon Murray, the Celts, and Coach Peterson will open up the 2025 season when they take on Hardin Simmons on February 14th. Coach Landon, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thanks, Russell.
Thank you.